So you will know how many people are looking in on the Facebook.
So, good evening, everyone. This is Saurabh Mukherjee, co-founder of Youth for Good Governance. I welcome you all to the webinar series of Youth for Good Governance. So, this is a special edition of the webinar, and we are conducting this webinar in context of the Youth Crucible Idea Challenge 2020. And today's discussion will not only help our viewers to understand various aspects of sustainable menstrual hygiene practices, but will also provide a basic framework for the participants of the Youth Crucible Idea Challenge, who will be working on the theme impacting menstrual hygiene in a sustainable way. We request all our viewers to help us spreading the good words regarding the Idea Challenge so as to maximize competition. We will just be witness to the blooming of many new ideas aimed at betterment of our society. And it is indeed my privilege to have with us some renowned personalities who have made huge contribution in the field of solid waste management, menstrual hygiene, and involving citizens at large for a better society. On behalf of the entire team, I would like to extend our gratitude to you, ma'am, and would like to share our happiness in hosting you all for the webinar. And now I would like to take the privilege of introducing our speakers for the day. So we have with us Dr. Meenakshi Bharat, gynecologist by profession, and she is one of the most prominent activists in the city of Bangalore to address the problem of solid waste management. With dedication and no-nonsense approach, she has over the last 10 years worked in the social space, leading campaigns, taking on issues, and coming up with sustainable solution. And she was responsible in setting up composting in BBMP head office, the Zero Waste initiatives in Dollar Colony was steered by her, and she is an instrumental part of the campaign on healthy and sustainable menstruation, Green the Red. She is also a member of We Care of Malleshwaram. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
We also have with us Smita Kulkarni. Techie decided to ditch her comforting corporate job and became a social entrepreneur, environmental activist, and Smita has co-founded the Stone Soup with her friend Malini Parmar in the year 2015. She is a social entrepreneur based out of Bangalore that offers sustainable and eco-friendly alternatives. She is one of the founding member of the Bangalore Eco Team, that is a congregation of citywide volunteers working on solid waste management initiatives. She has been instrumental in getting a plastic ban implemented in many areas across Bangalore and beyond. She is particularly passionate about spreading the word on sustainable menstruation and has spoken about it on several platforms. And private organization, education institutions, and communities. In a conversation with the TV, she shares her journey and plan. So welcome, ma'am. And we also have Padma Subramaniam with us, and she is a communication professional who spent 10 years in the PR and corporate communication space. Took 2 years off to take care of young kids and discovered the garbage sisterhood, volunteered to drive plastic ban at the ward level, worked with BET, and is passionate about garbage segregation and composting with the ward and community. Uh, and she had also worked with the Tata Trust and was working directly with the Central Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation to implement Swachh Bharat Mission goals for rural Karnataka. Under Tata Trust, work on menstrual hygiene management for rural women and girls. Currently, with Stone Soap Trust, creating awareness about sustainable menstruation and composting. Welcome, Padma. So, just to begin with, so we know that menstruation is still considered a taboo in the Indian society. And even today, the cultural and social influences on people create a major hurdle in ensuring that the adolescent girls are given proper knowledge on menstrual hygiene. Mothers are also reluctant to take about this topic with their daughters. and many of them lack scientific knowledge on puberty and menstruation, so as to say. And the main reason for this taboo still being relevant in the Indian society are high rate of illiteracy, especially in girls, poverty, and lack of awareness about menstrual health and hygiene. So my first question to Dr. Bharat, as a doctor, we would like to hear from you. What are your views on this important aspect of a sustainable menstrual hygiene management, and how have you been engaged as a doctor and a citizen to find this taboo? Over to you.
Thank you. Smita, you'll start.
Yeah.
So the question is that the more we talk about it, the taboo will be removed. And since Prime Minister Narendra Modi actually mentioned menstruation and its taboos in his Independence Day speech, it means that it is now out in the open and nobody is feeling shy about it. We need to then send the message out to the whole community and say, what is it that we must do to hold the hygiene during menstruation? And what is it that we must use, which will be good for our health, good for the environment, and also good for our purses? It's important. This COVID crisis has shown that many women, when they didn't have money to buy enough food, could not buy products for their menstruation. And therefore, we are talking about sustainable menstruation. So why say no to single-use disposables? Next. So there are three very important reasons. One is the health, the other is the environment, and the third is the economics. All three combined tell us what is it that we will use for our menstrual hygiene. Next. So over the last 50 years, single-use disposables have come into our lives. India was a completely sustainable country till we decided to use disposables. They, including chai ki matki hoti thi, and we would never have thought of drinking in a paper cup. But somewhere down the line, we all became very conscious of the convenience that these single-use disposables are providing us, forgetting that the huge amount of waste that is produced and the expense. And as you can see in these pictures around, there are so many paper cups that are used just for a minute and then thrown away, along with all the thermocol and every other rubbish that we are using. Single-use disposables has been the bane of our lives. Next. So when we started working on garbage, we first learned to segregate waste. And segregate waste is so simple. Everything in our life is segregated. जब खाना पकाते हैं तो अलग अलग पकाते हैं, जब कपड़ा धोते हैं तो अलग अलग धोते हैं. And then when we put it into the cupboards, we'll put the father's clothes on one side, the mother's on the other side, and the children's separately. And even that is segregated depending upon what is it that it is, whether it's a kurta, whether it's a blouse or a petticoat, it is segregated. Segregation, we know. All we need to do is to segregate our waste as we throw it. So when the kitchen and the garden waste can be composted easily, let us segregate it while putting it inside. 2 dustbins in the kitchen will separate it. But then we have a third bin wherein it is the hazardous waste bin, which is for sanitary waste. So segregation happens in a 2 bin, 1 bag philosophy, wherein 1 bin is for the wet waste without any bagging. Don't bag your waste. Don't put it into a plastic bag. So washing that wet waste bin is very simple. Like you wash your pressure cooker, you wash this also, and there's absolutely no problem. The hazardous waste is the one that is the sanitary waste, and we need to understand what is the quantity of sanitary waste that a city like Bangalore produces. Next. So each one of us looks at our period as ye mahine ka period khatam ho gaya. Thank you so much. But we don't realize that cumulatively we are spending 2 months in a year having our periods. And it is at this time that we are wearing those pads which are so close to our body, so close to our vagina. And the vagina is such a absorptive surface. Like our cheek, the vagina absorbs everything. So when you want to, treat somebody who is having a heart attack, you'll put the tablet into the mouth and ask them to keep it in the cheek because the absorption is so high. The same way, all things close to the vagina are absorbed by the vaginal mucosa and the blood and reaches the blood, blood circulation very fast. So 16% of our time between 10 and 50 years is spent having periods. So very little, research has been done into this, but it is a huge part of our a women's life. Next. So the pads have evolved over the last 60, 70 years, starting with, just gauze, which was covering the press the button, Smita. This was just cotton and gauze. So it used to leak. And then what happened was then we had this one that came into being, wherein there was a sticker behind and it would stick on our panty and therefore would not move up and down. And then the next stage was where there was wings. And then finally, this is what we have now. The pad has become completely thin because it's made of 95% plastic and so many other chemicals in the pad. Next. So National Geographic carried a huge article where it said that the pads and the tampons are made of plastic, 95% plastic, with a lot of other chemicals inside it, which are harmful to our bodies. Next. So our perception of our pads is that, oh, it is so convenient, it is so thin, it doesn't bulge, it is leak proof, and because it's white, it's hygienic. But in actuality, because it's made of so much of plastics, it produces infections and rashes associated with health problems, makes the blood smell. So when we are having our periods, we are always aware of this aroma around us of the menstrual blood. It's non-biodegradable, cannot be reused, recycled, and floats in water because there are microbeads that absorb water 1:30 and swell so much. Next. So the disposable pads are a huge health hazard. We don't have anything on the cover of the pads which tell us what the pad contains, but it contains styrene that goes to make tires. It has dioxins and furans, to bleach the pad white. There are pesticide residues, there are unknown fragrances, and there is adhesive chemicals, and it can lead from allergy to endocrine disruption. When we say endocrine disruption, so many of us, including me, have become hypothyroid. And why have we become hypothyroid? We don't know. So the substances in the pads act as endocrine disruptors. It also produces a lot of reproductive harm. And in the long term, over 30, 40 years, it could lead to cancer too. Next. So the anatomy of the female tract is, this is the ovary, this is the tube, this is the uterus, and the lining of the uterus is shed every month. It comes out of the cervical canal, enters the vagina, and then comes out to the external area through the meatus, the vaginal opening. Next. So generally, we all think that we bleed very excessively, but actually what do we bleed? We only bleed anything between 50 and 80 ml, and that is 4 tablespoons. That's all. Every tablespoon is about 15 ml. 4 to 5 tablespoons is the maximum that we bleed. And the amount of blood that we have floating in our body is close to 5,000 ml. So it is 1% that we bleed. So as the period ends, the lining of the uterus on both sides becomes less than 5 millimeters, 2 millimeters this side, 2 millimeters this side. And then the ovary starts producing us the hormone that will make the endometrial lining thicker. And by day 15, the blood supply has come into the endometrial lining. And if there is no pregnancy, then the lining begins to shed and the blood will come into the vagina and come outside. And at the end of the menses, the lining has again become 2 millimeters, which will regenerate over the next cycle. So this is like the hair on the men's face. Every day they have to shave. At the end of the day, the next morning, there's a stubble too. But when there is a stubble and a beard that's coming up for our boys, we are so, proud of them. We need to be proud of our girls, because this is just another external sign of their growing up. And so there must be no shame associated with the periods. Next. So the problems we face when you use single-use disposable pads and tampons is that there is a lot of rash in the thighs, on the inner side of the thighs. There is urinary tract infection. There is white discharge that is there. There is itching in the groin. And of course, there is malodor, or the stink, or the aroma that is there, period aroma that is there. And the bulge of the pad, especially with the younger crowd wearing such tight clothes. At least during your periods, wear loose clothes. Okay. The tampons leak. The tampons have no sensor on it which says remove, absorb only blood. It absorbs the vaginal secretions also and makes the vagina dry, produces a lot of infection. Next. So as you can see, all these studies have happened in the 1960s. There are a few studies that are coming up now which talk about what is period and what are the problems created by period and what are the newer appliances available for us to use for the period. So studies show that 1/3 of the women will get abdominal pain during the periods and rash and itching, and which is very uncomfortable. Next. So the disposable sanitary pads is a huge environmental disaster. A city like Bangalore produces 100,000 kgs of sanitary waste in a day. So what are we doing to ourselves? We are now creating that waste which is going to the landfill. So we started when we were younger, we used to use cotton cloth as our device for collecting the blood which flowed out of the vagina. But when we started using the disposable sanitary napkins, we use it for 6 hours, 6 to 8 hours, and at the end of it, it has to be thrown away. So we spend money buying it, we use it only for a very short duration, and then it is thrown. And because it is made of 95% plastic, it will remain on this earth for close to, it's a conjuncture that will remain on this earth for 500 to 800 years. None of us know what will happen in 800 years. All that we understand from the plastic that has been thrown into the oceans and the land is that it becomes tinier and tinier because of the effect of the sun and the UV light. And it becomes so tiny that it is then eaten by the planktons. The plankton is eaten by the fish lands upon our plate, and then we are eating the plastic ourselves. So it is quite the disaster. So we need to change to sustainable products for our health, for our environment, and for our pockets. Next. So what happens to the sanitary pad? It's dumped in the landfill or burnt in the incinerator because there is no other way that we can deal with it. And it lies in all the rubbish heaps that are there across the country with the dogs tearing it apart. Next. So incineration was thought to be a great idea, burn it up. But we didn't realize that when we are burning, we are producing transparent gases called dioxins and furans, which are emitted into the atmosphere and which are absorbed by all of us. And slowly that accumulation happens. And the dioxin is considered as one of the 10 most carcinogenic agents in the world. Next. So, like I said, dioxins are considered as the not 10, dirty dozen dangerous chemicals. So we need to be very aware that all these chemicals that we've been using, a lot of us have stopped using makeup, because makeup used to be made of lead, and lead is poisonous to our body. And we never realized that the lipstick that we were using had a decent amount of lead in it. So a lot of us have just stopped using makeup. Next. So the impact on the waste workers, especially in India, is because they handle them manually. They're exposed to a lot of skin rashes, skin infection, and of course, when the burning happens, they're then exposed to a lot of problems in the lungs. Next. Most of the time, many of us throw our sanitary pads, wrap it up, or tampons and flush it down our sewage. And these tampons and sanitary pads are super absorbent, and they swell up 1:30 and block the drains. And when they block the drains, there is no way but to manually empty out the stuck pads which have swollen up, and the Safai Karmacharis have to go into the drain and remove it. And there are many, many Safai Karmacharis who lose their life on a daily basis. Next. So I'm sure none of us want to be responsible for this. So how do we do this? How do we prevent this from happening? Is by using reusable, sustainable products. So, okay, everybody says remove the disposable products. Can we use biodegradable products? Now, if you look across at the world, there is 1/5 of the world that is going hungry, and that 1/5 of the population, a large portion of it, is in India. And all these biodegradable things are either made of cornstarch or made of potato starch, and we cannot afford to use and throw our vegetables just because we think that we are being good to the environment by using biodegradable stuff. So they're expensive, they're still needs to be disposed. Who will compost a pad which has blood in it? So it lands up going to the landfill. So it is another single-use disposable, which is no. Next. So disposable pads on an average are very, very expensive. So they will, every woman would spend anything between 50 and 150 rupees a month on buying sanitary napkins. And that cumulatively in 40 years comes to about 50,000 rupees to a lakh. So those who don't have or on the lower income group land up with not using the same pad for a longer period because they want to save money. So each pad should be used for 6 to 8 hours. They will use it for 12 or more hours. And so therefore it becomes a health hazard to them. So there is health hazard, there is environmental problems, and there is economic difficulty in buying these single-use disposable sanitary napkins. Next. So the world over, there are people who are not wealthy, who are poor, who are suffering from what is called as period poverty because they cannot afford to buy these disposable sanitary napkins. So why are we then hankering after these disposable sanitary napkins? Because the wonderful ads that they have put out on TV, over the last 30, 40 years has given us this idea that these white disposable sanitary napkins are what is healthy. Actually, it is not. So over the last 5 to 10 years, we have brought back some of the things that are old and some which is new. And the one that is old is the cloth pads which have come back in a new avatar. Next. If we actually look at this, this is diapers for children. But imagine that this long, tall heap is sanitary napkins. And if we use reusable sanitary napkins, we will just use one small bundle here and we will save so much of money. So disposable sanitary napkins for 10 years cost us, what was that? 1,800 a month, a year. So close to 10 to 15,000 in 10 years, while the reusable ones will cost us about 1,500, 1/10. And if you use a menstrual cup, it is less than that, less than 1,000 rupees for 10 years, which means that it is so economical. Next. So solutions is what we need. And the solutions are, this is old, come out in a new avatar, and this is a new product. Though over 80 years old, this is a new product now in the market in India over the last 10 years. Now, why must you use this? Primarily, you must use this. This is between, menarche to 18 to 20 years. The cloth pads are fitted into the panty very comfortably and no problems, with the same wings. And while here, with the same wings, it is here, there is a jacket at the back, and the pad is held, cloth pad is held by these rings. So it's very comfortable to wear. It also has wings. So the wings are there for it to be around the panty, and it goes like this and is fitted and will not move up and down with your movement, walking, running. When you have finished, when this cloth pad has got stained, remove it out, put in a new cloth pad, fold it up like this, and put it back into the the packet that comes with this. When you go home, soak it in a mug of water, cold water, leave it for 10-15 minutes, and you will find that the blood will come out. Squeeze it out, wash it with your hand, or maybe put it into the washing machine because the blood has gone out, and then hang it out in the sun. So why did the pad get a bad name? The cloth pad that we were using got a bad name because, one, there was no leak-proof material, and two, because we were all hanging it out inside the bathroom where there was no ventilation and where there was no sun. So if we remove this two things from our methodology of how to wash our pads, then we will find that we have hygienically clean pads. And this is basically for children to use from menarche to 18 to 20 years. Once they are married, they can use the menstrual cup, and the menstrual cup is just the best thing in the world. If you are using telephones which are smartphones, this is the equivalent of the smartphone for women in menstruation. Be smart, use a menstrual cup. Next. So Smita is showing you the cup. Go back to the previous one, Smita. So the cup is a 2-inch, go back. Sorry. The cup is a 2-inch, which fits into the vagina, which is 3 inches. It fits inside very comfortably. That's 3 inches, and it acts as a receptacle to collect the blood. While the pad absorbs the blood, this just acts as a cup that collects the blood. So there is no change in the blood, and it just remains the same. And there is no stink at all. You pour the blood down after you use it for 6 to 8 hours. Wash it with a little bit of water, hardly uses half a cup of water, and then reinsert it without drying it. Let the water act as a lubricant. Next. So you can fold it 2-3 different ways. This is a C fold, fold it and put it inside, or you do C fold, or you do a punch down fold, wherein the diameter of insertion becomes that like the tip of your finger, and it gets inserted through the vaginal opening without any problems. Remember that we have 3 openings. One is the urethral opening, one is the vaginal opening, and one is the anal opening. So the vaginal, the cup sits in the vagina, and the blood comes in and pours inside, while the bladder sits in front and the rectum at the back. And this cup forms a seal with the wall of the vagina, and having formed this wonderful seal with the wall of the vagina, it doesn't allow any leakage to happen of the blood. The bladder fills up 500 ml, the rectum fills up half a kg on a daily basis, and these all contract. So keeping the cup in the middle will not spoil your vagina under any circumstances. Remember, when you deliver your baby, a coconut-sized head comes out, and then the vagina shrinks back in 2 months' time to become normal. But that is because the coconut-sized head has come out. This vagina, this cup, when you wear, when you remove it, the vagina goes back to be approximated just flat like this. Next. So the benefits of the cloth pad and the menstrual cup are just amazing. You can do everything. And this leak-proof pad is what is the important innovation that has come in the cloth pads now. So this leak-proof pad prevents any staining of the clothes that you're wearing. And it's important, and it's very easy to just wipe it with a little bit of wet cloth, and it is clean and you can use it. And this lasts for 4 years. So one leak-proof jacket and as many, pads as you want, and this can be made very easily by yourself at home once this goes. So this costs you 400 rupees and lasts 30 periods, which means 30 to 35 months. And you will find that there is no, it costs less than 10 rupees. So they can be made, and you can make it with your old saris or your old dhotis. Also, you can make it. So it's important to have one jacket, and you can use this for 3 to 4 years without any problem. And when this cloth tears out, you can actually just compost it in the soil around your house. There is no stink because you would have washed it, dried it, and then because it's torn, you would have composted it. So the benefits are huge. Next. So the capacity of the cloth pad or the disposable sanitary napkin uses, absorbs 5 ml, while the capacity of the cup is anything from 15 to 23 ml, which means that truly it can last you more than that of the cup. I mean, more than that of the pad. So it's very good. Cups come with the stem and without the stem. The ones with the stem, remember, the stem is just for finding the cup in the vagina. You cannot pull on the stem. You have to press about, you have to press when the cup is inside. You have to put your finger inside and press it and then remove it. So don't pull on the stem without releasing the vacuum that is provided by the cup entering inside the vagina. So there are different cups, and the cup makes, please buy the ones that are made in India, because they are made of medical grade silicone and they are of good quality, and approximately between 700 to 1,200 rupees. Which cup to buy? Buy the ones that are made in India, buy the ones which have the print on it which says that it is it has a, क्या बोलते हैं, it has a make on it. Okay, all right. So the pads are also made in India, and they are wonderful to use till you get old enough to use the menstrual cup. Okay, those are the options. Is that fine?
Yes, ma'am. So I think that was a very insightful session, and thank you so much for your expert advice on safe menstrual hygiene practices. And I'm sure our viewers have gained valuable knowledge on this important aspect. And I request the viewers to follow your advice and help to spread this scientific practices with the society around them. And
yes, so the only way we can spread it is with all you youngsters taking it up. The men need to give it to all the women in their lives as a gift, or instead of Diwali ke liye shadi, I mean Diwali ke liye sari dene ke badle, एक मेंस्ट्रुअल कप खरीद के दीजिए या क्लॉथ पैड खरीद के दीजिए अगर आपकी बहन छोटी है 15 साल की है. Buy it, make them understand why they need to change and why it is important that this must happen to you know, the change must happen with you, can't happen without the youth coming into. So youth for good governance. Good governance means trash-free governance. And we need you to lead this whole effort. Okay?
Sure, ma'am. I think that should be the way, I think. And I hope the participants who will be coming from various colleges would take these things in their consideration, and maybe in Diwali we can have a special drive on this regard. So where we kind of advocate on this and have a mass campaign on this aspect.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So, ma'am, so it was great listening to you. And now if we can have a little bit overview about what Stone Soup is doing. And I think you have covered most of it, but if still something you want to highlight.
Yes, so hi, I'm Padma. I work with Stone Soup. And Stone Soup, we are, we are a company, we work in the waste management space. So we were actually, waste volunteers volunteering in the space of waste management, garbage segregation, composting, plastic ban in our areas in Bangalore. And, and we were running campaigns in our wards. We were going and doing awareness campaigns in colleges, schools, communities, and other places. And through our journey, we figured out while we were doing this awareness, people were motivated to change, but how will they change, right? So you are listening to Dr. Meenakshi Bharat giving you talk on sustainable menstruation. But unless you have access to a menstrual cup or a cloth pad, tomorrow, when you get your period, you will probably go back to the disposable sanitary napkin that is inside your cupboard. So that is what Stone Soup wanted to do. We wanted to reach the solution and the products to the people. So we want to make sustainable living simple. So we work towards zero waste homes and cities. We have products which cater to zero waste homes and cities. We have composting products, composters that you can compost at home. We have community composters. We have products that help you reduce the plastic waste at home. And also, we have sustainable menstruation products. As Dr. Meenakshi said, Stone Soup produces, we produce our own menstrual cup. Our menstrual cups are made out of India. And also, we produce the cloth pads. Our cloth pads are produced by rural women who work in the villages. Next slide. We also have Stone Soup Trust. Stone Soup Trust works towards creating awareness on sustainable menstruation and also zero waste cities. Under Stone Soup Trust, we run two programs, what we call the Green Dot Project, and we run awareness on Period Love Bleed Green. Under the Green Dot Project, we want to create employment for the rural women to produce and sell cloth pads. We want to create sustainable menstruation unit in all the 725 districts of India. In these units, there will be women who will be working as producers and also will be working as evangelists or marketing people who will be selling sustainable period care products. And we are in talks with organizations, with NGOs who are helping us to set up such districts all over, such units all over India. And also we do awareness on Period Love Bleed Green session. Smita, can we have the deck on Stone Soup products quickly?
You mean the zero waste one? Which one?
Yeah, the zero waste cities. So Stone Soup, as I told you, Stone Soup also works towards giving simple solution to the waste problems. So I would just take you through what are the different products that Stone Soup has with regard to this thing. So these are the three segregations, three-way segregation that any home should practice. 60% of our waste is wet waste that can be managed at home, and Stone Soup has composting products, the kitchen composters, and also community composters that help to manage your kitchen, the wet waste. We also have products that help you to reduce the dry waste. So we have cloth bags, tambulam bags. We also have natural cleaners and personal care products which help you to reduce chemicals at home. And so we know that 35% of our waste is plastic waste, and if it is reduced, the load on our landfill will also reduce. 5% of our waste is what is called as the reject waste or the sanitary waste. So to reduce this waste, we need to resort to sustainable menstrual period care products, and that is the cloth pads, the menstrual cup, and the diapers. Let's go back to our presentation, Smita.
Yeah.
So while doing all this, what is that we are trying to do, right? So we have products, we have solutions. So we, especially with regard, previous slide, Smita, especially with regard to sustainable menstruation, we are trying to create two impacts, right? We want to reduce the amount of sanitary waste that is generated, right? So the thing, a set of 5 cloth pads reduces about 1,500 disposable period care products from going to the landfill. And every menstrual cup sold reduces about 2,500 disposable period care product going to the landfill. So by just resorting to sustainable menstruation, we can take a huge load out of the landfill. Stone Soup could have done this by, we could have just gone and stitched cloth pads out of a factory setting. We could have just asked our export garment company to stitch the cloth pads, but we didn't want to go that way. We wanted to create livelihood, especially in the rural area. So we are setting up these sustainable units in all the 725 districts of India, where we are training women to become producers and also evangelists who will not only be selling the sustainable period care products, but will also be spreading the awareness on sustainable menstruation. So this is what Stone Soup does. Now I would like Smita to talk about what is expected out of this project and what she expects the college students to do as a project for towards sustainable menstruation. Thank you.
So before presenting anything, I don't have much to present because we have been in this field for a long time, and we have a lot of data to share. And as you can see, we have a lot of information over the period of time that we have ourselves learned. But all of this information is a little heavy to digest and to make a viral movement out of. So if you've seen the regular, I'm sure you've all seen the bell curve, the normalization curve as it's called. So 5% of the people are eco nuts, what we call them as eco warriors. They will go out of their way to live sustainably. And the last 5% of the curve are people who don't care about the environment, and they will do whatever they want. No matter how much you hammer into their head, they will not listen. But it's the middle 90%. Who will do the right thing as long as it's convenient. They may not go out of their way to do something to live eco-friendly, but if it is similar, if a natural cleaner and a Harpic is kept on the same store shelf, on same online portals or retail places that they shop at, and it costs about the same, they don't mind picking up the natural cleaner over the Harpic or Lysol or whatever. So it is this 90% that we want to target. It is this 90% which is the majority. If we are able to change this, influence this, we've got our cities and a country clean. So we need the help of the youth. You've got fresh ideas and you know how to communicate it and make viral movements out of things. And I know TikTok is banned, but even then, there are a lot of other ways to actually communicate in a very light way, because it is a lot of information when put on someone. When if you see whatever we presented in terms of whether it's trash or health or money, there is so much of information. And different people and different things work for different people. Some people might want to try it for the comfort of it, just the fact that I can swim during periods or I can travel during periods, I might want to shift to it. I don't care about the environment or the health. Some people are like, I want to live in today. I don't care if I get cancer tomorrow. I want to have junk food. I want to have this. So different people think differently. How to get the majority, how to make it, sustainable living a simple choice. So there are a lot of fun ways that I see people are communicating nowadays. You know, there's earlier people used to say, if you buy my product, you have these 10, 15 features. And now all they're doing is they're having cool songs and they're making it sound fun, you know. And it's just sometimes, most of the times, the decisions are not made in a logical way, right? They're just like, I bought this Radiance cream because it came in a pretty packaging. You know, a lot of times most of the times it's an impulse buy. So we would like the help of the youth to create fun movements. You can rap about it, or you know, you can have a cool song written. A lot of you have garage bands, so you know, write some really cool, funky song that can go viral, or it can be really creative memes. It can be videos, animations, and just fun ways to introduce the concept of sustainable menstruation. You know, it's only when you hear it 5 times do you, in it, the principle of advertising is only when you hear it 5 times do you actually register that something like that exists. So forget buying. People don't even know that these products exist. So once they know that it exists, then they will think about whether I should, you know, go for it or not. So it will help to you know, create fun ways to let people know that it exists. And by the way, it's good for health, and by the way, it's good for the environment, and by the way, you'll save a lot of money. And you know, and just harp on the coolness quotient, increase the coolness quotient of these things. You know, our generation used to buy stuff because it was cheap, right? I mean, you must have seen your parents, your grandparents, they don't even throw a banyan away, right? It becomes a pocha. And you'll be like, oh God, you know, buy a nice rectangular piece of cloth for pocha. Why do you have to use banyan and all these things, right? So our generation understood the money factor, the economy factor, and now of course we are understanding the health factor now that we're getting older. But we want you to reach the youth, and we want, you know, we feel that's the major force. You know, make it inspirational.
And the cup is so comfortable that you're liberated from your periods. So you need, all of you, the boys need to tell the you know, the girls and your mothers are still young and they're still menstruating. Tell them, mom, अगर 5 साल बचा है 50 होने के लिए, ये 5 साल आप cup use कीजिए, and you enjoy being free from your periods instead of having the rashes and the, you know, all the discomfort. So you also play a huge part, and there is an initial investment that comes. While you would be spending 50 to 150 per month on your pads, you will have to make an upfront investment. This upfront investment, you can say, Mummy, ye mera tohfa hai aapke liye. So, you know, then she doesn't have to spend, and then your father doesn't have to say, ye paisa kahan se aayega. You people have, you know, the, kya bolte hain? Income, kya bolte hain? What is the money, more money?
Pocket money. Pocket money?
Pocket money nahi hai. There is the dispensable, I mean, income that is there, which is more than what you require for your roti, kapda or makan. So you can then give it as a gift to your whoever, including, just don't buy, when you buy, don't buy any single-use disposables. खरीदने के पहले सोचो, what is it that you need to buy? What will it produce? How many times can I use it? And how much trash will it produce? So if there is a choice between a kurkure packet and a banana, the banana should be the first choice, not the kurkure packet, because the banana will give you instant energy. The banana will, you know, the skin of the banana will get composted, and you won't have any trash. You eat kurkure, you will land up with gastritis, and वो kurkure का जो cover है उसको फेंकना पड़ता है. That will never break down in, you know, will be trash forever. So think before you buy, and think before you throw, and then look at your cupboard and follow the philosophy of Narayan Murthy and his wife, who would never buy an extra dress without getting 2 dresses out of their cupboard. because all our cupboards are overflowing and we are all living in, a landfill. घर के अंदर landfill होता है, क्योंकि कोई भी cupboard खोलो and everything will fall on your head. So when you buy your next t-shirt, make sure that you've given away 2 t-shirts and then have space for 1 new t-shirt to come in. So don't buy unless you need it.
So you must have heard about carbon footprint, right? I think it's a more common terminology. What we emphasize on is your waste footprint. So whenever you throw something, why are you throwing it? Can you reuse it? Can you replace it with a reusable? If you're throwing tissues, can you just use hanky? If you're, can you repair your mobiles? Can you repair your shoes? Can you repair your purses, handbags? As far as possible, we've forgotten the idea of repair, and anything goes bad, we just toss it into the dustbin and buy another one. So request all of you, to relook at your waste footprint and see where all you can reduce. I would like to play one small video. It is
1 minute. As you plan all your weddings, make sure that you make it zero waste. So go.
None of these guys are getting married. They don't believe in marriage.
They don't believe in marriage. They believe in parties then. Okay. So go to the YouTube and do Meenakshi Bharat and a green wedding, and you will see how we celebrated my son's and daughter's wedding without any waste. There was no waste that went to the landfill. Actually, all the waste that had to be produced, the flowers and the whatever else, came home and got composted in my house. And we didn't use a single disposable. Everything was reusable, washed, and went back to the company that it was borrowed from.
This is a small video that I would like to play. It is basically just all the compilation of all cup users. So it just says that what can you do during your period. So we'll just end with this.
कोई खिड़की तो खुली खुली खुली, कभी ऐसा लगे डरी रात है डरी 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 दबे 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 पैरों से वो चली घास की घास पे स्मृति में हुई वो कैद थी, चंदा की मारी हमने गुलेल थी, कारों की चाबी से खुली सफेद सी सुबह 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 जुगनी उड़ी नए नए पर दिए ओ पिंजरा को
That was a beautiful way to end this session, and a very important note with which we can end is that think before you buy and think before you throw. And a message coming from a very, very strong personality, Dr. Meenakshi Bharat and Sunita Kulkarni. And I hope that the institutions whom you are approaching for this Youth Crucible program, that they support their students to take up this good cause. And we hope that we get many participation and this youth get an opportunity to involve themselves to fight with this taboo and bring some change in a cool way, as mentioned by Smita. So thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for your time. And we are glad that we are able to collaborate with Stone Soup on this journey and have you as our knowledge partner. We'll be guiding our participants to implement their projects. So we are looking forward. Thank you so much and have a great day.
Thank you very much.
Feel free to connect with us in case you need more information or you need to talk about anything.
Sure.